Paul Lytle Insurance Agency is proud to present another episode of Is That Covered? The show that looks at outrageous situations and tries to determine what an insurance adjuster would do if deciding coverage. Welcome to Is That Covered? The show where we take a look at weird situations from movies, from books, from media, from real life, and try to look at it from an insurance point of view to see how things would be made whole after the experience. So, Paul Lytle,
Melvin Hardison.
Melvin. So I thought that we weren't going to be able to do this because I watched Split this weekend. Didn't have a lot of cars or anything. And you came in and said that you had watched a bunch of random stuff.
Yes.
And thankfully, we ran across a real life news story. We have done kind of a real life situation once before, but really interesting, a really interesting video about exactly what nature can do to people on the road and people in general.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about, and then we'll jump back in it. I knew we were going to video this today, and we had talked about it some yesterday. And I come in this morning, and you can't tell now, but the weather was just crazy this morning. And the whole time I'm driving, and I'm going like 25, because this video is in my head of this 18-wheeler just kind of really fast tipping over.
There were a lot of 18-wheelers on the freeway this morning.
Were you watching them?
I was 2 lanes over. Made sure of that.
Let me get past this guy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to talk a little bit about, we do, I mean, we both come from claims.
Yeah.
But we do, when we're discussing these videos, a lot of times these are weird enough situations that we call in for outside help. And we like to bounce it off some old friends from claims, but this one is interesting.
Yep.
So I called a couple of friends. You called some people, and apparently we sparked like a debate in the claims department.
Yeah.
About and then I posted it on my on the agency's Facebook page, and another one of our mutual friends is like contacting me over social media, arguing how to cover it as well. And so
you can imagine what was really going on with their insurance companies. Lots of argumentation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So not to give the end away, but with all the people we talked to, we did not reach a consensus on this, did we?
No.
So I guess.
And they were pretty clear. They weren't wishy-washy about their views.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like everybody had a firm opinion about how this should be covered.
Yeah.
But we're kind of get into the issues with that as we go. So first of all, this is what happens here is pretty clear in the video. The 18-wheeler, gust of wind, just knocks it over.
Yeah.
And so this presents our first problem, because how are wind claims normally handled?
Well, typically, wind claims are handled under comprehensive, which is damage to the vehicle other than a collision. So a wind claim is going to usually be handled under the comprehensive coverage.
Right, and so we see this a lot, like a branch from a tree gets blown down in a windstorm and hits your car, and that's a comp claim, or something gets blown across the freeway and slams into your car. It's a comp claim.
Exactly. And one of the good examples that you had was the shopping cart in in any grocery store. You've come out, you've seen the shopping carts, and people leave them all over. And wind blowing those across the parking lot impacts your car. That's going to be handled under comprehensive.
Okay, so that is actually a really good example for our purposes here, because normally the difference between comp and collision, when we're dealing with wind stuff, is the thing you're hitting on the ground or is in the air. But the shopping cart, and that's an oversimplification for sure, but the shopping cart in particular is on the ground. So it seems weird that we would classify that as a comprehensive or other than collision claim rather than a collision claim. But the reason for that is this concept called proximate cause. And Melvin, can you kind of give a once-over on that?
Yeah, proximate cause is a way of saying the initial cause of what was the starting action that resulted in the collision or accident. So if a car rear ends another car, and the car that got rear-ended is pushed into a third vehicle, they're going to find out what the proximate cause is. And the first vehicle is the proximate cause because the first vehicle's action is what caused the rest of the damage to the second vehicle and the third vehicle.
Right. And so all of that brings us to this video.
Yes.
Because what we have here is a truck, and we're speculating based on the video itself. But
Right.
we have this truck. He seems to be driving safely.
Yes.
He's in his lane.
Yes.
He's not swerving back and forth on the road.
Right.
He's in control of his vehicle. He's driving at a safe speed.
Yes.
And then there's this sudden gust of wind. He doesn't take any drastic action. And the trailer he's pulling is what topples over. It is clear that he really didn't have anything to do with this.
Right.
It's the wind directly on the trailer.
Right.
And so that's what's causing quite literally half of our sources to say that this should be a comprehensive claim.
Correct.
But the other half are saying, well, this should be a liability claim, and I've got for there to be a liability claim against me, I've got to do something that was my fault.
Right.
I've got to be negligent in some case. So some people are saying, well, he has negligence because he is driving, in this windstorm, going up a mountain, and he really shouldn't be. And the text at the beginning of the video suggests that, hey, don't, pay attention to warnings. I don't really know that there was a warning in this case, but maybe there was. But in any case, it's obviously very windy.
Right.
And he's driving up a mountain. So they're saying now it would be liable against him.
Right.
And the end result of this is I'm not really sure.
Yeah, there is going to be some more investigation for people at the scene to figure out if there were any warnings. And good thing that was a police officer there, because hopefully it'll move along quickly.
Well, and thankfully it was videotaped. That makes it actually a lot easier.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what I think is going to happen is that the adjuster for the 18-wheeler is going to say comprehensive, and the adjuster for the trooper vehicle is going to say liability.
Correct.
And then they're going to go to arbitration and figure it out. That's my feeling on it. But as far as where it goes there, my own feeling leans toward comprehensive. But I think that this is just a really good example of make sure that your car is covered for all sorts of weird stuff that can happen on the road. And
Yes.
by all means, don't underestimate nature. There was when I was driving out this morning, and it was, I mean, not 10 miles from here, there was a tornado. Driving out this morning, and somebody came across all the lanes of traffic and cut off some people. And it's like, you don't want to do that under normal conditions, but when it's that rainy and that windy, you want to make sure you're being extra careful, because stuff like this can happen suddenly and can have a drastic effect on what happens on the road.
That is correct, because just because it hasn't happened before doesn't mean that it won't happen now.
Right. And have you seen this type of a situation in claims before?
Not this type of claim. No.
This one was a brand new one for me. This was,
yeah.
I think it was like that for a lot of our friends, and I think that's what kind of got everybody interested in it and debating it. But
and having a video of it, like you said, really helped.
Yeah, that was that's going to help clear up the adjuster's job quite a bit. But all right, well, thank you for that, and thank you for watching. Hope you subscribe to this channel, and we'll have some more videos like this in the future. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.